Yes, guys, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy, back again with another live stream. I'm massively sorry for being late, almost an hour late, but I'm so sorry. There were things that were really inevitable. We're gonna speak a couple of things. Please do make sure you smash the like on the video. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Very glad of you and happy with you guys. So please do make sure you do subscribe and turn on the notification bell as well, because we're gonna speak so many things in this one. Ben White, Ruben Neves, Albert Sambilakonga, Andrea Bellotti as well. I mean, we've been linked with another striker, and his name is called Andrea Bellotti. So we'll speak about Andrea Bellotti. Aouar's agent is apparently in England, in London, and of course the big question is, what is he doing in London there as well? Sergio Ramos, we'll talk about Sergio Ramos in a minute, and the All or Nothing series that has been launched by Arsenal. What does it mean? We shall try to get into it, and maybe you guys have something new that Arsenal has prepared and you just didn't know. Yes, guys, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast, and thanks everybody for tuning in. Let us get underway with our stories, because we do have a lot to speak about. And look, I want to begin with Ruben Neves, because he is in the title, and it will only be very professional to start with Ruben Neves. So let us start off with Ruben Neves. A couple of reports today have come out and spoken about Arsenal and Ruben Neves, and I'll actually be very glad if you guys get into the vote in the comment section. I put up three players that could all play as central midfielders, and actually the reason as to why I've selected them is they are the last three players that have been strongly linked with Arsenal. And if I think about it, they are the three very possible transfers. That is Aouar, that is Yves Bissouma, and as well as Ruben Neves, who has become a priority today, according to Gianluigi Di Marzio and Nicolo Schira. They are saying he is now a priority. Arsenal are looking at Ruben Neves as one of their priorities in the central midfield. They will never, and they will no longer go for Manuel Locatelli, because the deal seems to be very hard to do, and it could actually drag along this summer. So what we know at the moment with Ruben Neves, before we go into any other player, is yesterday. Actually, let's start off with a couple of reports that reported that Ruben Neves was more interested in joining Arsenal, and Arsenal were interested in getting Ruben Neves. This was around 3 weeks ago, if you still remember, or 4 weeks ago, because I think the moment we lost Emi Buendia, the next day, reports of Ruben Neves actually emerged, and of course they did emerge with the insurgents and emergence of reports that Granit Xhaka was going to Roma and the deal was done. And you still remember those, those conspiracy theories and reports that were actually being reported at the moment. Now, of course, what it shows you is if he comes at Arsenal, he comes in as a direct replacement to Granit Xhaka. My first question is, guys, would you take him? Would you take Ruben Neves? Forget all the statistics, forget all the numbers. There are times when you feel like this player I would take an Arsenal, this player I would actually not take an Arsenal. So for me, that is my question. That is my concern, guys. Would you take Ruben Neves at Arsenal? Is it a kind of player that you feel, yeah, if Arsenal brought him in, you're okay with him? Yeah. If Arsenal brought him in, you're okay with him? That's the first question. Would you take Ruben Neves at Arsenal? So 4 weeks ago, reports came out and said Arsenal is very keen on getting Ruben Neves, from Wolves, and they died. Absolutely died. Nobody, actually, no one came out until yesterday, when Manuel Locatelli and Sassuolo and Juventus confirmed that it's gonna be very hard one. It's gonna be very hard one for us to do, despite the fact that CEO Canvelli came out and said, "Look, it's gonna be one of those deals that Juventus is leading, but we're having advanced talks with another club abroad, and the talks are really really advanced." And then I came out in the morning and said, probably you have you have Sassuolo and Arsenal somewhere, but Nicolo Schiller as well as Gianluigi Di Marzio have distanced themselves, and they've actually debunked the rumors and the theories, and have said, look, this is not true. Juventus do not have an agreement, right, with Manuel Locatelli. They do not have negotiations progressing well with Sassuolo because of the problems they have financially as Italian clubs, and we do understand the problems with Inter Milan, with AC Milan, as well as with with Juventus financially. But Nicola Schiller actually today, let us get into what has been published today, because it makes more sense than what was published 4 weeks ago. When reports came out and said, you know what, Arsenal interested in Ruben Neves. Neves is available, 35 million euros. I mean, didn't make a lot of sense. It was more like an agent-driven story, trying to cling Ruben Neves to Arsenal because we were in need of a CM. But today, reports have come out, and Gianluigi Di Marzio, the first person, very respected journalist in Italy, and one of the reasons as to why I do love him and respect him is the fact that he's gonna report those stories in Italy and beyond. It's gonna tell you, what is happening in Italy, what's happening, in France, what's happening in England, and a couple of other countries. So Gianluigi Di Marzio, this is what he said, today in the morning. Manuel Locatelli won't be joining Arsenal. It's a very difficult one. Arsenal have made Saul Niguez their top priority now in terms of a central midfielder. That was according to Gianluigi Di Marzio today in the morning, and that made a lot of sense for me. That made a lot of sense because why it makes a lot of sense for me is he gives it context, and for me that is it. The moment he gives it context and said it is Locatelli. Locatelli was their first target, was their main man, he is the kind of player they were looking for, and it adds more sense to Fabrizio Romano's tweet almost 2 or 3 weeks ago when he said Bissouma is a good player, he's appreciated by Arsenal, they're looking at him, he's on the list, but not the priority. He doesn't have the skill set they're looking for. They're looking for someone who has a very different kind of skill set from Thomas Partey. And if you look at Manuel Locatelli and Ruben Neves, just on your screens, if you look at the kind of passes he makes as a player, if you look at the kind of contact he makes as a player, and the kind of skills he has as a player, very very different from Yavis Bissouma, and I think quite a little or more of an upgrade to Granit Xhaka because he loves the long passes. I think Xhaka loves the long passes as well. It's gonna, it is his daily meal, breakfast, lunch, supper, the long passes. And that's why I do respect Xhaka to some extent. As well, there could be many Arsenal fans that do not respect him, but I do respect Granit Xhaka. I think he's a decent player. The Premier League is probably not meant for him. He's growing older and older. Pace is running away from him. He never had it in the first place. So I would replace him with someone like a Ruben Neves. So Di Marzio says Manuel Locatelli, with his skill set, with all the the beautiful football that he plays, he was Arsenal's #1 priority. That is the man we wanted, Manuel Locatelli. Finally, it is, the blanket is blown. So he was our priority, but the deal became so difficult because Sassuolo apparently, they apparently favor selling to Juventus rather than selling to Arsenal or to any club abroad. And of course, you do understand it happens a lot with within Italy, within Germany as well, and in Spain. If Barcelona want a player, or Real Madrid apparently from a one Real Sociedad or Atletico Madrid, it's hard for them to say we'd rather sell up abroad, despite the competition, despite the fact that these guys are direct competitors. it's hard, it's hard to say that we'd rather sell up, abroad. And the fact there is, they want to keep their talents, especially if a player is Italian or Spanish or German. They want to keep these players, around Bayern, around Real Madrid and Barcelona, around Juventus and AC and Inter. Obviously, if they were not struggling at the moment financially, so they want to keep their best talents in Italy, so that probably they could have a stronger national team. Because if you look at that Italian national team, how many players are from abroad? You could talk about Jorginho abroad. Gianluigi Donnarumma has now gone to PSG, but he's been playing with AC Milan, so he's he was called on duty whilst still playing at home. You have Marco Verratti, who's been playing with PSG in France as well. Who else? Of course, you have Silo Immobile, who's back in France, but who's back in Italy, but he has been traveling a lot. I remember he was at Dortmund some time back as well. So if you think about it, if you look around it, it seems Locatelli wants to stay in Italy, but also Sassuolo want to sell to Juve fast. And you've got to respect that. There's no way you're gonna come with a hammer and blow up their heads because they don't want to sell to you fast. They have a good relationship with Juve, and we've got to respect that. That is how things are moving at the moment. So with Ruben Neves, now he comes in as a direct replacement of two players. One is Granit Xhaka, who is apparently set to join Roma, but the other as well is Manuel Locatelli. So he replaces Manuel Locatelli in the pecking order. So he becomes that number. He has become the priority now for Arsenal. Now the question is, guys, is he good enough? Is he the player that Arsenal should be going for? And I think that's a big question. Many Arsenal fans are going to ask themselves that question. Is he the man? Is he? Does he have the value that we want? Is he the man that we should be going after? Does he have the quality? If we look at some of his statistics last season, actually be impressed, right? So you might be impressed with his statistics last season, almost the same as Granit Xhaka. And I was thinking about this, and while reacting to many fans saying we don't want him, we don't want such kind of player. He's not good enough. He's not good for Arsenal. And then I thought about it, and I was like, maybe we have not given Ruben Neves the time he deserves. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many people really, follow Ruben Neves. But in my opinion, I thought about it. Maybe we have not given him the time he deserves. Maybe we have not given him the kind of attention he deserves as a player. Last season, of course, he's Portuguese playing at Wolves. I don't have a problem with Portuguese players. I actually read them. In fact, I do read them. So first of one of the things you're gonna get him is a reliable player, very very consistent, and he quite has a hot temper. He picks a couple of yellow cards because last season he played 36 games, scored 5 goals, 1 assist. That means in total he got involved in 6 goals directly. And he picked up 8 yellow cards. If you remember when I was speaking about Ben White, I think it was yesterday but one, on the 9 p.m. show, I said the beauty with Ben White is he picked up only 4 yellow cards in 36 games. Of course, the discipline record matters if you're a centre back, but the number of yellow cards he picks up, for me, they show me something positive. Because Xhaka picks up these kind of yellow cards as well. But the area in which Ruben Neves plays, you've got to have the cards. You're going to collect the cards, honestly. 8 yellow cards, 36 games, 5 goals, 1 assist. Quite decent. Really quite decent. We'll try to compare him to Yves Bissouma and see, because Bissouma is one of the best tacklers in the league. So last season, played 36 games. In the 2019-2020 season, Ruben Neves played 38 games, 2 goals and 2 assists. Look, he played all games in the league. And this is crazy. He played maximum number of games. He appeared in all the games for Wolves in the Premier League. 2 goals, 2 assists. Typical DM. And that season, 2 games more, he collected 9 yellow cards. I mean, he's a fan of them. He's a fan of them. He really gets, he really gets them. Really gets them. And in the 2018-2019 season, still they were playing in the Premier League. He actually had 35 appearances, in the league. So what that shows you for me is the durability. He's a durable player. And you want those kind of durable players. I think Jacques has been durable this season. I think Saka has been durable this season as well. What we mean by durability is he is always there. You're gonna always rely on him. He's always there. I mean, time and time out, he's always that player. And then Ruben Neves, he's always gonna appear. In that Arsenal side, not injury prone. That's what it shows you, because a player who plays 35 games in a season, followed by 38 games in a season, and then followed by 36 games. If we can do some quick mathematics, that is 70, 109. He has had 109 appearances for Wolves of the past 3 seasons. That's beautiful. Beautiful. So he's a durable player. Very durable. So not injury prone at all. I've seen people saying he's injury prone anyway, it's Twitter. The problem with Twitter is people do have their own opinions. Someone tweeted and said Albert Sambi is going to be the first Belgian to play for Arsenal. And I was like, I remember, what about Vermaelen? He was our captain, right? I didn't really reply to that. But I think the durability is one of the things you have in him. Very, very durable player. But if you look at his goal involvement over the past 3 seasons, in 2018-2019, he got directly involved in 7 goals, scoring 4 and creating 3. The next season, a little bit less than that, scoring 2 and creating 2 in 38 games. And then if you look at the last season, 5 goals, 1 assist, directly getting involved in 6 goals. I think what Arsenal fans want is a player who can add to the tenacity, a player who can add to the directness in how we play, a player who can add to what Arsenal do on and off the ball. And that is Ruben Neves for you. Switching play, doing things this and that, I think is your man. Let us look at some of his statistics per 90, because if you evaluate a player per season, at times it gets a little bit vague. And the reason there is it's easy. A player can have 20 good games and 20 bad games. So for me, that player is a little bit, that player is unbalanced. It's really not really unbalanced, balanced, but the word is inconsistent, right? The player is inconsistent. So let us try and look at some of his statistics per 90 and try to see, is he worth what Arsenal want to pay for him? Because apparently we want to pay around 30 to 35 million euros for him. The same amount of money that we would have got in NEVEZ Bissouma. So would we actually do we actually have, are we putting our money in the right place? So his pass completion last season, or per 90, sorry, his pass completion stands at 83%. This is a little bit, this is not bad. This is not bad. He attempts 63 passes per 90. That is decent. He applies 19 pressures per 90. Now, if you remember Houssem Aouar, 11, almost just 11 pressures per 90. Manuel Locatelli, around 11 pressures per 90. You have NEVEZ Bissouma, who's a little bit ahead of them. But no player we've talked about, including the likes of Renato, including the likes of Bissouma, including the likes of Locatelli. No one has this amount of pressures per 90. 19 pressures, 19.5 actually. 19.5 pressures per 90. And if you look at this clip, you can see what he does clearly in that midfield. Always getting that ball from the opponent and trying to look out for runs from fullbacks and wingers. So I think he's decent there, really decent. 19.5 pressures per 90. Progressive passes per 90 stands at 4.7. I think Aouar is better in this area. Progressive carries in per 90, 3.7. I think Housen Aouar is better than him in that area. Now, when it comes to blocks and tackling, he stands at 2.8 2.88 tackles per 90 and 2.21 blocks per 90. What that actually 2.38, sorry, 2.38 blocks per 90. What that shows you is, in terms of tackling, interceptions, blocking, and the defensive attributes of the game, you've got your man. He is your man. We do not have the ball, but someone is doing a progressive carry. Can we regain position in transition? I think it's your man. He's gonna do it for you. Thanks everybody for smashing the like button. We are at 40. That really means a lot. Let's get them to 50 as soon as possible. Thanks everybody. Let's get 7 more likes and push this thing to 50 as soon as possible. So in terms of tackling, blocks, I'm in love with him. I'm in love with him because his percentage is in comparison to other players. In tackling, he stands at 81% per 90, and blocks, he stands at 94% per 90. What else do you want, guys? What else do you want? Far better statistics than Granny Jackers. Far better statistics than any other player that Arsenal has at the moment. The likes of Mohamed Elneny, the likes of Lucas Torreira, far ahead of them. And like I said at the beginning of this transfer window, is what we need is an upgrade. As long as we can get a good player who is an upgrade, don't care about the price. You know, many people are telling me, Cossy, why are we signing? Why are we going for the 30 million? Why don't we go for the 50 million, 60 million? Because they're looking at Chelsea doing that. They're looking at City doing that. They're looking at United doing that. And my humble answer to them is, we are not them. We're not City. We're not Chelsea. We're not United. So what I think is, this Arsenal side needs upgrades in so many areas. Ruben Neves is definitely an upgrade. Say no if you like. Say no if you like. He's an upgrade in that area. So if you look at his shot creating actions per 90, stands at 67%, but actually per 90 he has he creates 2.2 shot creating actions. With shot creating actions, what you're thinking about there is either you're making an assist for a player, or you actually it's called something like, is it called a second assist, right? A second or third assist. That's what we're talking about. That you're setting up someone, or you're setting up someone to set up someone. So like a number 6. What you think about what you get in, what would be shot creating action is actually you have Ruben Neves giving that ball to either Emile Smith-Rowe, and then Emile Smith-Rowe directly makes an assist to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. It's somewhat called something like a second assist, right? So if you look at his shot creating actions, 2.21 per 90, great. Total shots per 90, 2. I think that is one thing you loved about Santi Cazorla. Another Cazorla is back. You have a player who actually shoots on goal. Xhaka does it, not so regularly though, but he does it. And I think we've got to be very, very honest in this regard. Despite the fact that he might leave the club and everything like that, he does it, but not so regularly. And I think Ruben Neves is another one that really loves taking a shot. One of the beautiful goals I've seen, I don't know if I can actually get it in this clip, but one of the beautiful goals I've seen him score was against Manchester United. What a goal! What a goal that was! What a goal! And I think you've got to agree with me. You've got to agree with me. When it comes to the long shots outside the box, he is your man. Interceptions, he stands at 1.41 per 90, and clearances, he stands at 1.75 clearances per 90. Progressive passes recorded, 1.1 per 90. Area balls won, 0.8. He's not so tall really. He stands at 0.88 per 90. Total touches in the penalty area, 0.79 per 90. And this is now where Housen Aouar becomes your man. The first attributes of the game of Ruben, which are the strongest in Ruben Neves' game. Pushing people around, applying pressure, getting this ball around, and tackling people, blocking passes. Not Houssem Aouar, but it is definitely Ruben Neves. Now, if you want to pick Houssem Aouar over Ruben Neves, the only reason you pick him is the offensive side of his game is absolutely so good in terms of number of expected assists, number of expected goals, number of expected assists plus goals, number of touches in the penalty area. Houssem Aouar is absolutely disgusting. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. I mean, I've not seen a central midfielder who actually gets more touches in the penalty area. Not even Xavi had that. Not because Xavi for me is the master, but not even Xavi, had so many touches in the penalty area like Houssem Aouar. He's so good. He's an absolute joke. And I'm not comparing the two players because, like a Spain fan, I know Xavi. I know what Xavi means. He's a legend. He's the best in that area. He's the best in the central midfield, passing, and he's one player that does whatever he wants with the ball. So, but I was trying to compare Ruben and Aouar. I think they can actually. The weakness of one is the strength of the other, which means they can actually play in one team. Tomorrow, we will look at how both of them could fit at Arsenal in a single lineup. But Aouar, if you placed Aouar as your creative man and you placed Ruben Neves as your defensive man, Thomas Partey as the man that actually morales the midfield, you have a perfect midfield as well. And I think we are so lucky to have Thomas Partey. One, he's that kind of player that actually can play with anyone. And I mean, there are not so many. I say this at the beginning of the win, and I said, if there is a reason Arsenal have to go out there and sign a central midfielder, is Thomas Partey. You've got to find a perfect partner for him. But how lucky we are that Partey has such quality that can play with Mohamed Elneny, and Arsenal fans feel like Partey and Elneny, masterclass. It's not masterclass. It's not masterclass. Partey is just good. So I think that's the beauty with Partey. You're gonna put him with Ruben Neves, it's gonna work. You're gonna put him with Houssem, it's gonna work. If you put him with Bissouma, it's gonna work. He's so flexible as a player, and the flexibility for me brings utmost performance in the midfield. So Ruben Neves, guys, what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments. We've actually smashed the like button, really, and it really means that. Let's get them to 70 likes, 7 more likes to get them to 70. Guys, don't miss the opportunity to support the channel by smashing the hell out of that like button. Let me look at at the votes. The votes it's interesting, really interesting. Ruben Neves actually stands at 38%. Yves Bissouma stands at 25%, and Houssem Aouar stands at 37%. Well, look, I thought Bissouma was a prince on this channel. I thought he was your prince. What happened, guys? What happened? Let's smash the like button, people. 10 more likes to get them to 70. 10 more likes to get them to 70. Thanks, everybody. That really means a lot. I'm so sorry to remind you all the time, but likes, they really help me with the algorithm. So, Ruben Neves, guys, that is the update. That is the update. Maybe lastly, Nicolo Schiller has said that Arsenal have offered the player a 5-year contract, a 5-year offer, and there are high chances that Ruben Neves will not turn down this contract. Now, what you have in Ruben Neves, and I think this is bad news to people who love Bissouma over Neves, is the deal is almost set in stone. It's like it's set in stone. One, Neves wants to leave Wolves. That's the first thing. 2, Wolves want to sell. 3, Arsenal need a central midfielder. 4, Arsenal need Ruben Neves. 5, Neves is very open to a move to Arsenal. 6, the money, which is around 30 million euros, is okay for Arsenal. set in stone. Absolutely set in stone. Now, I don't mean it's a done deal. It's not a done deal. I mean, talks are going on between us and the player, and then between us and Wolves. And probably we could have, some agreement very, very soon. We pray it happens. But it looks so easy. I mean, unless it's the personal terms, unless Wolves want something like 40 million euros. If they change their mind, I don't think they're going to change their mind. It's 35 million euros. It's a bargain. It's another bargain. Look, it might not be an absolute bargain to people who have not had us speaking about the statistics of the young lad. It's just 24 years of age, 35 million euros. The statistics we have looked at: 109 appearances in 3 consecutive seasons. This guy has gas. He's got the gas, and absolutely, I'm in love with him. I'm in love with him. So it looks like an easy deal to do. Really easy. No, it's more like the Bissouma deal. Very, very similar. Very similar. Very, very similar. So let us wait and see. Nicolas Schiller says the player is interested. Very much interested in Arsenal move, and will actually cost less than 40 million euros. Do it, Arsenal. Do it for us, Edu. Do it for us, Mikel Arteta. Yes, there is a lot to do. Preseason is starting, and you think this is a time when Arsenal is really in the mud. But I think it's brilliant. It's brilliant when you get busy. I mean, we've got to get busy. We've got to get busy. Guys, let us do the voting. Please make sure you're voting. It's either Ruben Neves or Bissouma. It's in the chat. It's in the comment section. Make sure you're voting. So away from Ruben Neves, we've spoken about Ruben Neves quite for some time. Let us get into the Housem Aouar update. And this is where the Housem Aouar family becomes a little bit more interested and interesting than any other side on the show. So apparently, after Arsenal making an initial offer of around 20 million euros, as it was reported, the player's agent is in London. Now, the exact reason, because players, people can move to London for a couple of reasons, and we do understand that, and I do respect that as well. But so the reason as to why the player, the player's agent is in London, has not been specified. But what we can confirm is that the player's agent is in London, and this could be linked to a move to Arsenal. In the past 48 hours, you've had Arsenal linked with Housem Aouar. You have Housem Aouar missing, preseason, preseason training. You have had of course, he's back in training with Lyon. Don't get me wrong. You have had Housem Aouar open to a Premier League switch. You've had Arsenal's offer, and Lyon asking for around 30 to 35 million euros. Apparently, now the agent of the player is in London. I mean, guys, let us. I mean, someone. I know in your head you're telling me, Cossy, make it make sense, and that is what I want. I want to make it make sense. Is he in? Probably is he in London to finalize the Housem Aouar deal or to negotiate? Right, because it could be just negotiation. So is he in London to negotiate that Housem Aouar deal? It would be very, very marvelous and massive to see what actually comes out of it. But apparently, the brother, an agent to Housem Aouar, his name is called Brahim Diaz. Did I say Diaz? Brahim Aouar, not Brahim Diaz. Sorry for that. It's called Brahim Aouar. He's in London, and look, of all times, this could be the worst time to be in London, because we are always going to link you, outlets, reports are always going to link your arrival in London to a switch, to your brother's switch. And I think, look, the deal might not be so close. The deal might not be so close, but I think there are negotiations going around, and something could also happen with the Housem Aouar deal. But with Ruben Neves and Housem Aouar, allow me, just give me a couple of minutes to speak about these two playing together. With Ruben Neves and Houssem Aouar in the same squad, I think Arsenal is going a little bit more offensive. Of course, with Thomas Partey, I think what we are, what we are looking at in this area, in this regard, is we're going a little bit more offensive than defensive. Because of course you have Houssem Aouar now as the attacking midfielder. Mikel, it's clear. Mikel has never wanted a direct number 10. Never. He's never wanted number 10. Actually, if you look at how he operates Emile Smith Rowe, right? If you look at how he unleashes ESR, he unleashes him like more of a Kevin De Bruyne kind of player. That kind of player that has the freedom to stretch the wings. That kind of player that has the freedom to stretch to to stretch in the middle of the park, break through the lines and do whatever he wants. He gives him that freedom. And that's why Emile Smith Rowe is so interesting to watch at Arsenal, because he's not actually limited. Like, this is your area of operation. You're number 10, so do not skip this. This is do not actually cross the lines with your number 8. He doesn't do that. Smith Rowe is absolutely disgustingly so good. And the next story is about Emile Smith Rowe, right? Emile Smith Rowe. Let me just note it down. So we're gonna also speak about Emile Smith Rowe and his contract situation, because it's becoming a little bit vague, really vague. But with Houssem Aouar and Ruben Neves and Thomas Partey in that midfield, for me it looks like a 4-3-3. Guys, Aouar, Neves, and Partey. Which formation would fit them best? Would it be a 4-2-3-1 where you have Partey and Neves lying deep in a pivot, and then have Houssem Aouar a little bit ahead of them? What I do not like about that, apparently, as a person, is if you play Aouar as a CAM, he might struggle. He might struggle a bit because he's not used to be isolated as a center of attraction to create chances. But if you played Aouar in a 4-3-3, where you have him almost on the same level as Partey, and same level as Ruben Neves, just behind him, he has two masterclass defensive players, and then just ahead of him, he has a masterclass striker. I think he feels the support. He gets he's gonna gain that support, and he will be engaged more in scoring the goals and creating the chances. So, what do you think about them playing together? Well, look, I look at it as a 4-3-3. Honestly, I don't see it as a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, they can play in a 4-2-3-1, and it would work. But for me, it looks like a 4-3-3. Looks like a 4-3-3. And the beauty with the 4-3-3 is you could drop Nicola Pepe. Sorry for all the Ivorians on the show. You could drop Nicola Pepe and play Emile Smith Rowe on the left wing. So you have Emile Smith Rowe. That means you have 4 midfielders now. Actually 5, because Saka for me is a hybrid. It's one of the best hybrids in football. Is Bukayo Saka. Not here. I'm not really here to say much about Saka, because I know you want me to speak about Saka and his performance against Denmark. But 4-3-3, 3-4-3, 3-5-2. It looks like those are the formations we could go for if Ruben Neves is actually playing with Houssem Aouar. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts on the probably lineup? What are your thoughts on that? I'll be very glad to get your thoughts on what kind of lineup would we actually employ in that regard. Smash a like on the video. Thanks, everybody. Make sure you're voting. We have 186 likes, 186 votes. You guys are a joke. You guys, you're not voting. Let's get the votes in, guys. Let's get the votes in. 10 likes to let's get 10 more likes to 100. Thanks, everybody. This is really massive. Let's get 10 more likes and make likes. Thanks, everybody. This is really, really massive. 10 more likes, get them to 100, and that will be our like target of on a daily basis will be hit as well. So, guys, apart from that, let's talk about Emile Smith Rowe for a moment. I mean, a couple of reports have come out, the likes of Fabrizio, who you believe are very, very authentic when it comes to transfer news and contract situations. They've come out and said Arsenal is so confident that Emile Smith Rowe will stay at the club. I've also seen a couple of reports from Aston Villa, not Aston Villa as a club, but a couple of reports around Aston Villa that Aston Villa are confident that Emil Smith Rowe will actually join them in this summer. And I do have a very interesting question for you. Would you sell Emil Smith Rowe in order to get a better midfielder? Would you get 40 million euros? Personally, I'll tell you my opinion. If we get to 120 likes, I'll tell you my opinion. The moment we hit 120 likes, I'll tell you my own, how I make sense of this situation. But would you sell Emil Smith Rowe to get a better midfielder, probably Maddison? Would you sell Emil Smith Rowe, add some money, and get James Maddison? I would love to get your your thoughts on that. I've made it a little bit tight, and there are reasons that's why I've made it tight, right? There are very, very good reasons why I've made it very, very tight. So, guys, let's think about it in this sense. Emil Smith Rowe's contract is not yet done. Why haven't we given him a new contract? We have offered him an offer. He's not yet signed it. He's apparently been out, on a holiday. The club is back, players are back, and it looks like we are going to Scotland without Emil Smith Rowe, signing his contract. It's scary. It's a little bit scary because the confidence in which Villa are bidding, are making these offers, the first bid, the second bid, third bid loading, there is something. There could be something we do not know. There could be something behind the scenes. And what could be behind the scenes is Arsenal could actually sell Emil Smith Rowe without the notice of the fans. So that's my question, guys. Would you sell Emil Smith Rowe? Would you let go of ESR to get a better midfielder? Probably a Maddison. Anyone. Probably anyone. It doesn't matter. As long as it's a better midfielder. Right? As long as it's a better midfielder. Thanks, everybody. We have reached 100 likes. Thanks, everybody. What I think about Emil Smith Rowe, I'm gonna tell you with 20, just give me 20 more likes, and I'm gonna tell you what I think about Emil Smith Rowe, whether I would sell him or I wouldn't sell him. 20 more likes, just get those 20 more likes in, and then I'll tell you my situation with that. Apparently, Granit Xhaka, I told you I do have an update around Granit Xhaka. Now, with Granit Xhaka, Roma are actually saying they are waiting for Arsenal to bring in a midfielder. So they're waiting for us to sign in the midfielder, probably Ruben Neves, probably Aouar, and then they'll be back for Granit Xhaka. I just don't get it. I just don't get what is so wrong with Roma. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's like they don't want to pay the money, and I think it's the problem with Italian clubs. They're used at cheap deals. They're so good at getting the cheap deals. 2 million, 5 million, 8 million euros. That's what they want to do. Of course, you're never gonna get a player like Granit Xhaka for less than 15 million euros. And Roma are apparently not ready to pay the 20 million euro valuation that Arsenal has in the player. So there's Fabrizio says Roma are waiting for Arsenal to get in a new midfielder, and then they will be back with another offer for Granit Xhaka. The player has agreed a deal with them in principle. That doesn't mean anything. He could as well stay. A couple of other clubs are interested in him. It will be very interesting to see how that goes down as well. Right. Okay, someone was asking me about Sami Lokonga. An update around Lokonga, and I have one from Charles Watts. So what has Charles Watts reported today? Where are you, my bro, Charles Watts? He said it's highly unlikely that Lokonga will travel to Scotland for next week's training camp ahead of as he has to self-isolate in the UK. So Sami Lokonga has done his medicals in Belgium today. He will fly to UK, he will fly to London, not Scotland. And the reason as why he's not going to join up with the club right away, that like it was reported earlier on, is he has to self-isolate for around 8 to 10 days. Now, Nuno Tavares is apparently at London Colney. That is the training ground. That is Arsenal training ground, London Colney or Colony. I think it's Colney. And his self isolating period is over. So Nuno Tavares will be announced as an Arsenal player either today or tomorrow. And of course, what you have in that is what you have in that is he could be flying with the squad to Scotland. And look, that is what Arsenal want to do. They want Nuno Tavares to travel with the squad to Scotland, and I think it would be absolutely really massive. So Lokonga medicals done in Belgium. They were apparently going to be done in the UK, but because of the COVID stuff and everything, they're gonna be done they were done in Belgium, and it's gonna fly in the UK, right? Okay, right? Reportedly trying to sign. This is Little Sport. I have an update around. I do have an update around Howsome Hour from Little Sport. I'm gonna give you that. It's a breaking story from Dean James. Big up Dean James. There is my man on Twitter. I would love to give a shout out. A big shout out to all the people, all the Twitter warriors who collect these stories and actually verify that they're authentic, me inclusive. So if you want to follow me on Twitter and see the great work I'm doing there, please follow me. It is Cossy on Twitter. Just look for Cossy. Cossy, Cossy. Follow me on Twitter, and it is Cossy19 on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram as well. I'm doing a great job on Twitter, especially when it comes to Arsenal news. So make sure you find me there. A big shout out to my man AFC Max. Give him a follow on Twitter. AFC Max, another real one, man. Another real one when it comes to collecting Arsenal news. But of course, I do have a big update. A replacement of Howsome Hour. So I'm really going to give you that the moment we smash the like button to 150. So the moment we get that like button to 150, I'll be able to give you that update. So guys, let's get them to 150 very, very soon. Howsome Hour, we do have an update, and it is from Lee 10 Sport as well. Anything else I've not talked about? Maybe Ramos. Apparently, Ramos rejected us. We had offered him a very good contract, 2 years, and we had actually offered him some decent money, but the player apparently wanted to play Champions League, and that's why he went to PSG. I'm not bothered by that. I'm telling you for facts. I'm not bothered. Look, I might look around and I'm like, wow, look, yeah, he's a decent player, but I'm not bothered. Not bothered at all. Ramos to PSG, good. I think he fits there. Ben White to Arsenal. Let's wait let's wait and see next season. I was watching Turkish on AFTV yesterday, and he made a very great comment. He said, "Guys, stop giving stick to Ben White because we literally don't know much about him, and stop giving him too much praise because it's 50 million pounds." Because we don't know much about him. We've seen him one season in the Premier League, one season in the Championship. That is his best in his career. So maybe he deserves some time before we can give the right appraisal. We've got to give him some more time. But that's around Sergio Ramos. So let's get them to 150 likes, and I'm going to give you an update around Howsome Hour. Around Howsome Hour. 216 votes already in. Ruben Neves still lead the race at 39. Howsome Hour at 35. And Yavis Bissouma at 26%. Right? Guys, give me let's get 10 more likes. 230 people watching. We've got to have at least 150 likes. At least 150 likes. So let's get 10 more likes, people. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Let's look at what you guys are saying in the chat. It will be very, very interesting to see what you people are saying in the chat at the moment. We might not have a 50th show today, so I might as well make this a little bit longer as well. I will I will really love to Bissouma to join Arsenal. I rate him higher than Neves, especially when you come to controlling the midfield. That's according to Dan. Big up Dan. Mukaila, big up Mukaila. Hi, I says hi. How are you doing? Hope you're in good shape. Gogo, big up Gogo. Says our midfield addition might just be Lokonga and Neves. Smith Rowe with our number 10 will be our number 10, but then I see us playing more of a 4-3-3 formation than a 4-2-3-1. Thank you so much, Gogo. Big up in the chat as well. Victor says Bissouma for me. Gogo says Bissouma and Partey leaving for AFCON might have ruled out Bissouma out of the. Yeah, exactly. By the way, I think it makes sense. It only makes sense. It only explains why Arsenal decided to, avoid the deal. It only makes sense why Arsenal decided to avoid the deal. Probably, if you're Partey leaving for AFCON and Bissouma leaving for AFCON as well, then you've got to drop one of them. Honestly, you've got to drop one of them. It wouldn't make sense. Neves will be a great signing. This is according to Alfonso Koa. Big up Alfonso in the chat. It depends on the bids. This is according to Samuel. Right. Among the three, Bissouma will be my choice, but with AFCON, I'll choose Neves over Aouar because of his defensive awareness. Big up Gogo. Then he says Bissouma and Aouar. That is his priority. Ali says Ali says great. Big up great. Big up Ali. Mr. P-Man says I go for Neves. Big up. Kangare says hi. Hi, Kangare. Hope you're doing well. Great signing for Neves. Jack is a great player. He's a great player. We just looked at his statistics. He's a great player. Sorry for that. Did I skip that? Omar says I'll go with Neves because he knows the Premier League well and he's not a bad player. Actually, it is something that I didn't talk about, but it is something worth to mention. It's something worth mention. 3 Premier League seasons with 109 appearances. Jesus Christ, you're getting a Premier League proven player for less than 40 million euros. It's a bargain. Thank you so much. I really had that in mind, but I don't know why I didn't talk about it. Brilliant comment. Thank you so much, Umaru. Hilary says hi, Cossy. Hi, Hilary. Hope you're doing well. Big up Timo in the chat says hi, Cossy, my man. Hope you're doing well. And I'm absolutely so sorry for coming late. Today, almost an hour late. I'm so sorry for that. Augustine, big up Augustine in the chat. Mohammed says, but Neves is expensive. But Neves has experience in the Premier League. Thank you so much, Jack. Neves and Aouar. I think they can great. I think they are great ones. Great, really great, as well. The Dancing Maniac says, Neves is highly experienced in the Premier. Wow, you guys are really the real ones. You guys are really the real ones. Ruben and Bissouma can make good signings. This is according to Ali. Big up Ali in the chat. Hi, Cossy. I want Neves. Big up Richard. When it's for replacing Xhaka, probably I would take Neves. This is according to Geoffrey. Big up Geoffrey. Neves is the main man. Is the man in the middle. Thank you so much, Michael. Right, Cossy, kindly tell me all the confirmed done deals for us. No, I'm watching from Kampala, Uganda. This is according to Richard. We have an agreement in principle for Ben White. We have completed Albert Samuel Lakonga and Nuno Tavares. We have also signed young goalkeeper Arthur Okonkwo on a long-term contract. So we expect him to be our third choice goalkeeper. Both Locatelli, Aouar, Neves are good players, according to Amos. Big up Amos in the chat, right? Hey, Cossy, has a bid been offered for Neves, or it's just empty rumors? This is according to Elisha. Talks are ongoing between Arsenal and Wolves. We do not have a bid yet, but we have offered the player a contract. So it looks like we are a step ahead when it comes to personal terms and a step behind when it comes to the deal itself. Arsenal can buy all I don't think all of them, Amos. I don't think all of them. I really don't think all of them, and I wouldn't really take all of them. In one transfer window. Geoffrey says if Arteta is not a manager, Bissouma is a better player. What do you mean? What do you mean? If Arteta wants to sign Neves, then he should not sell Xhaka because Xhaka is better than Neves. This according to Bashir. Big up Bashir in the chat. And Emmanuel says, is Neves an Arsenal player now? Not really. Not really. Not really. He's just a priority. He's just a priority. Guys, it's 10 more likes to 150. 10 more likes to 150, and then I'm gonna break the story around Housem Aouar. I'm gonna break the story around Housem Aouar. So 10 more likes, 10 more likes, and we get into it. 10 more likes, 10 more likes, and we get into it. And then I'm also gonna speak about the all nothing thing, as well. So don't really be disappointed. Welcome, Cossy. Live transfer news. Like the stream, please. Thank you so much. What's up? Thank you so much. Please do like the stream, people. Please do like the stream. We've had 200 people watching. We should have 200 likes at least. Barack from Uganda. Thanks for the thanks for the update. Big up, bro. Big up, Barack, my brother, as well. I think Neves is the man. This is according to Juma. Says I think Neves is the man. Right. Shato says I would like to see Locatelli in midfield and Aouar in that number 10 position. Big up, Nathaniel Shatu in the chat. I would like Robin Aouar, or you like Ruben Neves, Aouar, and Albert Sambi-Lokonga and Partey dominating the middle of the pack, but you don't think the coming of Aouar will affect Emil Smith Wall, right? I think the moment we get in number 10, definitely it's going to be affected. Definitely it's going to be affected. And I think that's the problem with it now. Yeah, that's the problem with it. He's definitely going to be affected. It will definitely affect Emil Smith Wall, but I think it only depends on how the squad is rotated. If the squad is rotated well, then I don't think it will be really much of a big problem, right? I don't think it will be much of a big problem if the squad is rotated well, right? Bissouma and Aouar, this according to Iwat. Pick up Iwat in the chat. Johan says Aouar is better than Neves. And then Iwat says Aouar is better than Neves, right? Okay. Oluranti says, hi Cossy. This is Oyabami from Nigeria. I would like if Arsenal can bring Neves. He's a good player. I like his personal. I like. You like him personally. Thanks, bro. Thanks for the show. Thanks, bro. As well for the appreciation. Peter, I'd rather sign Bissouma and Aouar. Victor Moses says, Cossy always on your updates for today. I think we should get Neves and Aouar in the midfield. Can be massive with Partey, with Neves, and then we can have Aouar in the number 10 role. Brilliant. And like I asked you people, do you think then if you have Aouar, Partey, and Neves, do you think it is a 4-3-3? Do you think it's a 4-2-3-1? Do you think it's a do you think it is something like a 3-5-3? Which one would be the best? Obviously, between 4-2-3-1 and 4-3-3. Let us concentrate on those two, right? Thanks everybody for smashing the like button. It's really running crazy. Guys, 10 more likes. Let's get them 10 more likes, guys. 10 more likes. And then I give you the update around Housem Aouar as well. Fraser says far better than them all. Big up in the chat. Bashir, if it's true that we have signed Ben, Nuno, and Sambi-Lokonga, then we still need Yves Onana. Then we still need Yves and Onana only, but still don't know if Hector is gonna be staying. If Ekib is gonna be staying. Look, I think if you say we need Yves Bissouma and Onana only, no, I didn't agree with you. I think Bellerin will be leaving though. Thanks everybody. Thank you so much for the nice comment. Hi from Kenya, Africa, bro. Compare Neves and Aouar. We've just done that, but I'll do it for you. Ruben Neves, Housem Aouar. You can only compare them if you decide to use Housem Aouar as if you decide to use Housem Aouar as a central midfielder. So let me try to get Housem Aouar stats for you around here so that we can actually compare them directly. But I think we did that. We did that yesterday. But look, all I can say at the moment if you want a defensive midfielder so good at tackling and interceptions, that is Ruben Neves. He's your man. If you want a central midfielder that brings a vibe, that brings that kind of vibe to the midfield, that makes the midfield vibrate, someone like a midfield dynamite, someone is going to score more goals from that midfield, someone is going to create more chances, someone is going to get more shot creating actions per 90, it is Housem Aouar. So both of them are very good players. Of course, with Ruben Neves, you've got more not really incentives, but more bonuses if you sign him. Premier League experience, he's got it. 24 years of age as well, and very cheap. Housem Aouar is cheap as well, 24 years of age, but he doesn't know the Premier League. He needs time to adapt to the Premier League. So I think I can't really say this one is the better player, but the defensive attributes of Ruben Neves, you would take him over Aouar, and the offensive attributes of Housem Aouar, you would take him over Ruben Neves. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. Big up Jafali in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Brendan, spelled Ruben Neves wrong. It's with an S. How did I? Oh! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Surely I'm gonna change that. Surely I will change that. Thank you so much. I support Neves and Aouar. Big up, Peter. Ruben Neves isn't scared to take shots from outside the 18 years box penalty area, according to Jody. Yeah, it's one of the beautiful things you love about his game. It's one of the beautiful things you're always gonna love about his game. His ability to take shots outside the box. Really. Tom Fury, I didn't skip your comment. Don't worry. But why can Arsenal buy in time? Where does he come from? Neves comes from Wolves, Portugal. Portuguese. Wolves and plays for Wolves and comes from Portugal. Neves and Aouar is a must. This according to Jody. I must compare for me Locatelli and Housem Aouar. We did that yesterday on the channel, but because you've requested, I will really do that. Look, this is a little bit interesting between Locatelli and Housem Aouar. Same age bracket, 23 years of age, very similar playing style as well. Very similar playing style as well. But I think, look, the difference, I think the difference between the two players, Locatelli is a little bit more of a solid player as a central midfielder. Housem Aouar is more of a fluid player as a central midfielder. I think with Locatelli, you have the tackling, tick. You have the interceptions as well, tick. And also he progresses the ball well. With Housem Aouar, his defensive attributes, his defensive side of the game is stinking. Absolutely stinking. Unless he works on it. Jody, neither is Partey, two players like that. Jody neither is Partey, two players like that. Fantastic. This is Brendan. Shati says Neves is better than Aouar. I mean, if you want them as if you decide to go for a defensive midfielder, then you would take Neves. Neves and Aouar. This according to Mubarak. Big up Mubarak in the chat. Jody is Partey, two players like that. Fantastic. What you guys didn't get that. Didn't get that really. Aouar CAM, Neves and Partey CM. Big up Brendan. Locatelli is better than Ruben Neves. Ruben is mechanical. Alex. Mechanical. The word mechanical means what? What do you mean he's mechanical? How far with Ben White to Arsenal? Deal agreed in principle, Amos. Deal agreed in principle. We're just waiting for the Euros to get that one done as well. Is Arsenal going to sign Ruben Neves? Talks are ongoing. If we can find a consensus, we get him. If we fail to find a consensus, we move on. Big up Nelson in the chat. Jody at Brendan, okay, that was your chart. If Emil Smith Rowe goes to Villa for 35 million pounds, will Arsenal sign Madison for 60? I was only asking. Big up my man Semakula Tony in the chat. Big up brother. Thank you so much for supporting young brother. Really means a lot. It only depends. Look, we've had situations where Arsenal is interested in buying in buying what do you want to say? In buying an expensive player, then we sell one of our talents, and then we eventually don't even bring in a good replacement. It has happened before, so wouldn't be really surprised if Arsenal don't sell a Emile Smith Rowe and then they don't bring in someone decent. But I wouldn't be surprised either if we don't even sell Smith Rowe and bring in decent signings. So let's wait and see what this summer is all about. My man JK says it is Howsome Hour. Jody says Smith Rowe should stay. Right, I agree with you. Big up Cossy, big up Tony. We have just hit 150 likes. We've just hit 150 likes, and I'm glad to tell you the update now. Thanks everybody, guys. Thanks everybody. Give me more likes. Give me more likes because I deserve them. I think I do. If you think I deserve a like, give me a like, people. If you think I deserve a like, give me a like. This is according to Dean James, and he's quoting. Actually, the article is coming from Lee 10 Sport, and they are saying Lyon are reportedly trying to sign Nimes Algerian attacking midfielder Zinedine Fahad to replace the outgoing Houssem Aouar, who they received a bid from Arsenal via Alex Bernard Lee 10 Sport. Right? The Lee 10 Sport. Guys, follow me on Twitter. You're gonna get these breaking stories. Follow me on Twitter. You're gonna get these breaking stories. So apparently, Lyon are trying to sign Nimes Algerian attacking midfielder Zinedine Fahad to replace outgoing Houssem Aouar. Right. Interesting, isn't it? Really, really interesting. Do smash a like on the video. Let's get 20 more likes, guys. 20 more likes. It will do well. 20 more likes. As we go through your comments as well. Salad says he's an all-round player. He's speaking about Neves. And Don says Jody Madison did come. If Madison did come, would Smith Rowe sign? Neves is the man. Michael UG, big up Michael, big up all the lovers from UG, and big up all people in Africa, Kenya, Sudan, as well as Nigeria, as well as UK, as well as USA. Big up everybody who watches the streams. Cossy, how sure are you that Arsenal will sign Ruben Neves? I think it's an easy deal. I'm a little bit 60% sure that if Arsenal is really serious about it, we can even get it done over a week. Just over a week, we can actually get it done. So I don't think it's that difficult. Honestly, I don't think it's that difficult. If Arsenal decided to do it. There's so many comments, guys. There's so many comments. I'm trying to look, to look for the last comment I saw. Okay, right. Let's begin with Stella. She says, "I'll go with Ruben. Big up, Stella. One of those people that really love the channel and really follow it. Thank you so much, Stella, for the love. Thank you so much. I would love to follow you on Twitter or on Facebook or Instagram. You could tell me your handle, Stella. I'll definitely give you a follow. Emmanuel. Says Emmanuel from Uganda. It says, Uganda, thank you for the updates. Keep up the work, boss. Thank you so much. I'll go with both of them. This is according to Brendan. 35 plus 20 million pounds. That's equals to 55 million pounds. And it would be a bargain. All those guys are good. Let's hope what they are talking about them is not just audio, as according to Emmanuel. Edu, please sign Aouar and Ruben Neves. This according to Nelson. Onana and Lamptey on top of that would be great. I don't think Lamptey is still part of our targets. I don't think he's still part of the targets. Cossy, you are the best masterpiece so far. Thank you so much, David. Love it. I do appreciate the love so much. And of course, showing me love is more than you guys can think about. So please do smash the like button. Let's get more and more likes on the show as well. Right. So we had a couple of people suggesting the formation. Peter went with the 4-3-3. 4-3-3. Adetona went with the 4-3-3 as well. Kwame went with the 4-3-3 as well. Bricks went with the 4-3-3 as well. All right. Kelly Noah says I won't sell Emil Smith well, right? 4-1-4-1. This according to George. 4-1-4-1. Yeah, I've seen that. It was Anderson Wenger. Yeah, I've seen that. So, guys, big up everybody. Big up to you guys in the chat. Aston Villa just wants to piece off Arsenal. It's according to Jimmy. I mean, Arsenal, you never rely on them. You can never put your back on them. I think Ruben is the best of all. As I wish we can go for him. Thank you so much. Henry says we should play a 4-3-3 if with Ruben Neves. 4-4-2. This is according to Gareth M. 4-4-2. 4-4-2. Right? 4-4-2. Right? A 3-4-3 is according to Gaddies. And then Sanders Brian says, Cossy, I hope this will be our season. Let's pray for our loving team, Arsenal. So lastly, one of the things I really want to talk about lastly is our all or nothing series that have been announced by Arsenal today, right? So I'm gonna speak about that just in a second. Just a minute. Right. So this is according to the Arsenal website. All or nothing, Arsenal. We are delighted to announce our participation in the next installment. In the highly acclaimed Amazon original documentary series All or Nothing. The series will launch exclusively on Amazon Prime Video next year in more than 240 countries worldwide. All or Nothing Arsenal will take our fans behind the curtain during a crucial season as we focus on our efforts challenging for domestic success and returning to the elite European competition, as well as capturing the highs and lows of life at the Emirates Stadium and our training center. The All or Nothing cameras will follow our squad away from the pitch to examine the daily challenges faced by us elite athletes. The work we do in our local and global communities, and what connects the Arsenal family and our special club. So we have we are apparently getting some. It's around 10 million. What I've seen, it's about 10 million. Yeah, it's about 10 million for this All or Nothing. That's what Arsenal is gonna be collecting. Obviously, Arsenal. When you see Arsenal, it's all about the money, isn't it? It's there is some money. So we shall actually the contract is 10 million pounds. So be able to you'll be able to see Amazon Prime. I mean, you've got to pay for this content. But what's happening, if you do not understand this, what is happening is Arsenal are partnering with Amazon Prime Video to shoot an All or Nothing series. So All or Nothing series is gonna be like Arsenal Amazon Prime shooting videos of Arsenal players in training, outside training, more of the deeper coverage of the pitch. And I've seen a lot of people really taking a piece of the thing on Twitter, and I'm not by that. Look, Arsenal, all they aim at is getting money out of the fans. We are going to sign 4 or 3 midfielders, 2 defenders, 1 goalkeeper, and maybe a striker. That's if we sell 1 current striker in the squad. Thank you so much, Jibe. If it's an update, We do appreciate if it's your opinion. If it's an opinion, then we do love it as well. Guys, what an interesting show it has been. What an interesting show it has been. And I'm going to say, I will sign out for now. Now come back. We'll discuss more and more stories around us.
Though they're going to pull Palace out of position. Tierney. Saka again, that's good. Tierney. Lovely move so far, and a goal from Pepe, who got there. Cushion volley from him. Arsenal lead. Big goal. Nicola Pepe. This is Willian, and he's got his first goal. For Arsenal, it's been a long way, beautifully struck. Nani, surely not. Oh, yes! El Nani, the substitute, with Arsenal's third away goal.
Taking the precaution to label all of the seats. Oh, what a strike! Brilliant goal from Alex Lacazette.